What's up guys, Kirk Gibson here. Today I'm going to show you how to throw a hammer in Ultimate Frisbee. So to learn how to throw the hammer, the first thing we're going to look at is the grip. So if you want to learn how to throw the grip, it's essentially the same as the flick grip. Take a look at my how to throw a flick video, so we won't go into that today, but it's a normal flick grip. And the only difference is that instead of throwing it here like that, the hammer you're going to be throwing over your head. But it's the same exact grip, so normally flick would be here. But a hammer, you're essentially going to be throwing, think of like throwing a baseball, or for those who have played tennis, kind of throwing and that arm motion overhead, just like that. Okay, so the motion of the hammer, the throwing motion of the hammer. So think about if you've thrown a baseball before, you know, you put your left arm forward as a righty, right arm back, and kind of pull it through, just like that. It's pretty similar when you're throwing a hammer. You'll have your left arm out. It's much more difficult to just throw like this. You kind of have to have that momentum to twist your body to get that, because, you know, think on a backhand, you're getting momentum by pivoting out. On a flick, you're getting momentum by pivoting out. On a hammer, you can't really do that. So there's some ways that we'll talk about here in a sec, but from a upper body standpoint, left arm out, pulling it in, rotating that torso to get more of a snap and more momentum on your throwing arm coming through the zone. Okay, so the release point is a little bit going to be out in front of you. So it may look on video that it could be straight up high or maybe just straight out in front of you, but it's going to be up high and a little bit out in front of you. So maybe a foot in front of my head. So I'll kind of come to the side here. So if this would be my normal hammer motion. This is approximately where my release point would be, right here. So it's going up and out over the defense, okay? So it's going up like that, slightly at an angle. I'll come here from behind. So I'm going just like that. That would be where my release point is. So as we get to that release point here, the last thing is going to be the snap from an upper body perspective. It's going to be the same thing with the flick. The flick, you're coming through the zone, and it's with that wrist is where you really get that snapping motion. With the hammer, same thing too. You're gonna come here through the zone and get that snap there, and that's gonna really help get that distance and that spin to make it go farther. So when you're getting up here, out. And you don't wanna pull it straight down. You really wanna kind of push it out. The wrist snap is obviously going to come down, but it's going to be out. So you're going to be pointing it out, coming through, out, just like that. So now we've talked about the upper body. Now we're going to talk about what's the lower body doing. How is the lower body helping to propel and get this hammer off? So normally with a flick, you're obviously taking a step forward or out. The backhand, you're helping to gain momentum on the throw there. But for the hammer, your feet are really standing still. And so there's a couple things to be able to get some extra power and extra momentum to get this hammer to get some distance. So the first thing is even if you're doing a soft throw, but getting just a little bit on your tippy toes, just like that, will help kind of as you kind of get through the motion, get a little extra oomph on the hammer. So you can kind of see, I'll kind of come from the side here, but if I'm just throwing even just a short one, I'm kind of coming on my tippy toes, just like that. So now if I want to get some more power or more momentum, obviously you can just accelerate just a little bit quicker. Sometimes you're almost getting a little bit of a jump, but obviously as a righty, my left foot needs to remain down when I'm throwing this. So you'll see some players, if they're trying to get power, put their right hand, or excuse me, bring their right foot off of the ground, just as they're getting that extra momentum, just like that. Also, another way to get some more power, and I'm going to do this from the side, is when you are really trying to get that momentum, you're almost kind of like pushing your torso, your butt back, your shoulders forward. And so I'm going to throw here, and you're almost like pushing, getting on your toes, pushing your lower body back, and then upper body to get that torque and momentum forward. So I'll do it here. To get some extra power, you're really kind of pushing on your toes up and back, and at the same time flipping your forward momentum upper body, using that to kind of help propel and get some more power forward on the upper body. So another tip in order to get power from the lower body, so we just talked about kind of getting on your tippy toes, almost pushing back with your butt and legs, and then coming through on the upper body. Another thing that players will do is almost kind of lean back, similar to the flick, and kind of lean back a little bit, and we'll kind of just get up on one leg and throw it up. So that's another way to just get a power, is to kind of lean back on this right quad, this right thigh, and just push up so you can get that power and momentum coming up. So all these, you'll just have to feel them out. You'll usually have a marker guarding you, so just depending on how they're marking you, you may be able to do this. You may be able to kind of release right over his head. It just kind of depends on what the marker is doing. That may allow you to do different types of throws to kind of get them off. So I want to just touch on the angles just a little bit more. So I know I mentioned you really want to be somewhere within that 90-degree range. You don't want to throw a hammer out like that. You don't want to throw it kind of too far out over here, because it's just going to kind of fall down. The difference, and I'll just kind of show this in a short throw scenario. I'm going to throw it pretty close to 0 degrees here, and I'm going to basically just kind of throw it just short here, throw it at an angle, and you can kind of see it kind of comes straight down, didn't turn that much. And now I'm going to throw an exaggerated one at more of an angle, just like this, and you're going to see it's going to float and come down pretty quickly. And it's also just going to kind of come down to the left. So that one at the angle curved down to the right, and the one that started out at a flatter angle just kind of tailed off to the left. So just some differences. So play with the angle as you're learning how to throw the hammer. It'll help you just develop kind of different potential release points as you improve your game. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope we can use these tips to help improve your hammer throw. If you got any questions or comments, drop them down below.